January the 11th, 2016 at 5 p.m. Let the record show that all members are present except for member Isa and Mathis. Voting sequence for this meeting is as follows. Sanchez, Tuttle, Bailey, Notable, Mathis, Isa, Idle. Audience to visitors. Consent agenda. Everybody have a chance to look at it? I would entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Would each member please respond to the motion? Sanchez.
Yes.
Tuttle.
Yes.
Bailey. Yes. Notable.
Yes.
Item, yes. You got anything for us, Bill?
No.
Superintendent's agenda, Connie?
The first item on the agenda, we've been looking at, we wanted to let the board know where we are on the budget 6 months into the year. You know, we did project a deficit of between $400,000 and $500,000 in the original budget, and but we wanted to show you where it was. Well, what Jeremy has done is, in this sheet that you have in your packet, he's given you all of our sources of revenue at a glance, the sheet with the yellow on the side, and what we've received, what we budgeted, and what percent of that we've got in. We've also got a little box down here for projected revenues that should be received. And I'm going to let Jeremy talk about those in a minute, but if you flip the chart over there, on average, it'll show you all of our funds, revenue and expenditures. So we feel we're on target. We've got some accounts that are a little more, a little over. We've got some that may be a little under right now, but overall, we feel we're moving along fairly well on what we've projected in our budget, and we are being told that we'll receive quite a bit more money from the state, but that does come in, you know, monthly and not always right on time, because you have to sometimes spend it before they give it to you. So Jeremy, do you want to explain just the handout quickly for them, and we're going to do this every month for you, so you can follow every month where we are, how much we've gotten in, how much we spent.
So if you go on the side that shows revenue and expenditures, it shows you all the funds that we have. So we want to be on the one that's revenue and expenditures. And so if you look at revenue and expenditures, what you have there is on the top, you can see month by month how much revenue we've been receiving. And so we're halfway through the year, so you'd hope that it's 50%, you would think. But in reality, what happens is we have three sources of funding. So our local taxes have already come in, so we have quite a bit extra money due to our local taxes. So just going through our revenue, if you look at the ed fund, we've received 58% of the revenue which we budgeted so far this year. O&M, we've received 61%. The main source of revenue that we're still expecting in O&M is CPPRT money. In the bonded interest revenue, we received $522,000, 100%, or yeah, $522,000, which is 100% of our bonded interest money. Transportation, 90%. IMRF, 97%, so again, primarily local. Transportation, if you remember, we pulled general state aid out of there this year because we had a surplus. On capital projects, we didn't budget, or we budgeted to receive $300, we received $5.43. We don't plan anything really out of there this year. Working cash, we received our $34,000, and in our TOR, we've received 100%. So that shows you our revenue. If you go down to the expenditures, what you'll see and what we're aiming for is around 50%. Now projects happen, different things occur that your numbers will be different. But if you look at the ed fund, we're at 48% on what we budgeted. So we spent 48% of what we budgeted. On O&M, we're at 55%. And again, you have special projects that go on throughout the year, so depending on where you're at. Our bonded interest, this is kind of interesting. So if you look up on the revenue on bonded interest, we've received $522,000 we have a bond payment this year of 517. So we're right where we need to be there, and we've already made a portion of our bond payment with the 385. It's gonna total 517 by the time we're done, which we received more money in bond interest than what we plan on spending out. On our transportation fund, we're at 41% based on what we budgeted. On our IMRF, we're at 49%. Our capital projects is kind of a unique one. Our capital projects, we have taken out $125,000 out of that fund. Now, the thing is we had $125,000 in there going into this year that was to go to the high school. So that money was in that account going to go to the high school, and so you can see it came out there. But that will show up as $125,000 out of our expenses. Working cash, there's nothing, we'll abate that later on into the ed fund. In our tour, we're at 75% of what we expect to spend out of our tour. Okay? Overall, if you look, now I'm looking at our fund balance sheet, so that's our fund balance report. Overall, I can just pull this number up, that today we have received an income of 6.8 million. Today, we have spent 5.8 million. So, right now, we have not spent $1 million of the revenue that we have brought in. Okay? Again, that's primarily because the local taxes have come in. Now, we expect to spend that. What we're projecting the budget to be at the end of this year is $500,000 to $600,000 deficit. Our budget was around 476,000 is what we had projected in the budget, 476,000. I'd have to get the exact number, but it was in the 470 range.
456.
Okay, 456. And we are expecting it to be around $500,000 to $600,000 deficit. It just depends. That's our projections when you start working numbers out. Some interesting things, if you flip to the back of that, you can see education fund. You see our operating costs. I broke out our revenue account by account. You can see dollar for dollar where it's coming, and you can check the percentages. Some interesting things that I'd like you guys to know is that Harris 95 budgeted $6.3 million in state revenues. So if you go through our budget, we budgeted 6.3. If you go on ISB and go to Fritz and see how much they're telling us that District 95 is going to get, and anyone can go look that up, they're saying 6.6 million. So that's $300,000 less in our budget that we put in that the state is saying they're going to give us more. Now we have to see if the state's going to end up shorting us. We under budgeted for our categoricals. There's a possibility of not getting 2 state aid payments. So we expect that we're going to get shorted. But as of right now, that's what the state is saying. Okay?
So we're expecting more, $300,000 more revenue.
That's what.
Then we budget.
Well, what we're saying is the state, as of right now, the state says we're going to pay you. That's to be determined when it's actually the checks written. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's what the state's saying. So I feel very confident about our budget because that shows that we under budgeted on purpose on our revenue to be conservative. Okay?
And does that mean that the 600,000, 600,000 could be 200 to 300,000?
If they bring all
They pay us all of it.
theoretically, if the state pays us everything. So.
If you remember, Steve, we budgeted less, we knew we should get that
We
categorical
dropped that,
stuff,
yeah.
but we dropped it thinking it probably will come, but it may come in July, which may fall next fiscal year, which still shows up as a deficit this year.
Yeah. If you look at the Title I and Title II as well, we budgeted $91,000 less than what the state says they're going to give us. So just between Title I and Title II, in our budget, that's $90,000 less than what we actually are approved to get. Also, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of those revenues, you're going to see our projected revenues to be received. And so right now, so state, just so you guys understand, on state, we've received 97% of the state money in the ed fund. In the O&M, we've received 70, but that's CPPRT money. So we're pretty confident in our local money, okay? In our federal and state money, that's off of FRIZ, and these projections are even less than what FRIZ are, because we want to be conservative. So our conservative projection of money to be received is 4.3 million. Okay, that's what we project. But at the end of the day, we are projecting a $500,000 to $600,000 deficit because we like to be conservative, and we hope that we end up with a better number. If there's a possibility we can end up with a worse number. We just want to keep you guys informed so you guys feel like you know what's going on. It's kind of nice too to be able to go through this because you can see line by line what percent we've received in. So like some positive things, or you can see like the athletic fees. The athletic fees, we increased the cost of athletic fees. Well, we've already received 105%. So that's in the ed fund, and that's number 1790. So ed fund 1790, athletic fees. We budgeted $4,100. We've received $4,290. So we received more in athletic fees this year than what we had budgeted for. We did an increase in that, and we still had track, volleyball, and different activities to pop up. Okay? And so you can go through it, you can see that on some of those revenues, there's some numbers we're much better on. Okay? Any questions?
And you should,
Does
we will get
the
this every.
projected revenue include the 300,000 that we may or may not get?
Say that one more
The
time.
projected
The
revenue,
projected revenue to be received, Jeremy?
But those bottom numbers are based off of what we budgeted. Those, each one of those are based off of what we
not
budgeted.
what's on.
Not
the
what's.
Not off
No.
what's offered, so we're being very conservative.
We're still keeping it there, knowing that we're thinking maybe not one state aid payment, maybe not one categorical payment. So that you aren't shocked at the end and say, well, I thought they said they're gonna give you this 300,000, well, they said that, but will they? Is there, and if you get this every month and it just keeps one more row updated, then we'll have January's in, February's in, that should give you a really good idea month to month.
One of the things I want to point out too, if you look at federal money, one of the predominant incomes for federal money that we're still missing is off of our lunch program. And I feel very confident about that number, and I'm gonna tell you why. I sat through a superintendent's meeting a year ago where a lot of superintendents were talking about the amount of loss they were having in their lunch and food programs. And I'm talking like anywhere from as low as, they were having like a $30,000 loss to $50,000, $60,000 loss in their lunch program. I mean, just a large number. Last year, I think we made a profit of like $1,000, and we're really not even supposed to make a profit, but it ended up coming out to be like $1,000. So we're very close to breaking even on that. So when you can see that, for example, on 4210, on the ed fund, 4210 lunch, you can see we budgeted $240,000. We've only received $86,000 to date. We turn those reports in, we get money back. I'm very confident in that. And so I think that we budgeted very conservatively. I think we did a good job on this budget, and that kind of shows you to date where we're at.
Right.
Are there any questions on this?
It's a good report, thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
It's really pretty easy to see all at a glance.
Okay, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Cadillac Products is asking for a tax abatement. And you have a copy of the request for the tax abatement for Cadillac Products Packaging. The city's asking for abatement for Cadillac due to the addition in their current facility. The abatement is for a 10-year period. It would start January 1st of 16. And I want to explain that just a little bit to you before we vote. Cadillac is planning on doing a $2 million new addition. Now, that would only be, from what they're calculating, maybe that's only going to provide one new job. Usually we look at the jobs offered as well, but they're doing an addition in Paris. And in approximately 2 years, they're looking at another $4 to $5 million addition that will add 12 or 13 new jobs. The way the abatements work, it is a 10-year abatement, and for the first 5 years, it would be at 100%, okay, that we would abate. Then it goes down to 6 and 7 be to 80%, then you go to 60, 40, 20. Now that's up to us to keep track of, which we've always done with NAL. Then we start receiving some of that money back, and what we do is whatever is written into their abatement offer, NAL always had in, they would guarantee so many jobs. So if they fell under that 200 jobs or 300 jobs, we could calculate more, and they wouldn't get their full abatement. So we keep track of that, and it is a nice thing to know that they're looking at about 5 to about $7 million Navy addition here in Paris. So at this time, I would ask that the board approve the abatement for Cadillac that is recommended by the city.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? A motion has been made and seconded to approve the tax abatement for Cadillac products. Would each member please respond to the motion? Sanchez.
Yes.
Tuttle.
Yes.
Bailey. Yes. Notable.
Yes.
Idle, yes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is just the school calendar, and I've been working with Mrs. Bailey at Crestwood and Dave at the high school. And you do have a copy of that proposed calendar. It was laying in front of you on the table this evening. The school would begin with the Institute Day being Wednesday, August the 17th. The 18th and 19th would be half-day pupil attendance days, and we would do staff development and workshops those days, with the 22nd being the first full day of pupil attendance. The last day of school would fall on May 25th, and if we were to use all of our emergency days, we build in 5 snow days, calendar days, that we would make up, we would end no later than June 1st. This calendar has been approved by, like I said, Crestwood administration as well as Dave at the high school. So at this time, I would ask the Board of Education to approve the school calendar for the 16-17 school year.
So moved. Second.
Can I ask a question? Why don't we have a county calendar anymore? Why isn't everybody on the same page anymore?
Different districts just have different needs. or
You guys
staff
never,
development. No. And it's never really conflict. I mean, we always keep Crestwoods and 95s in the high school.
right, but I just wondered, there used to be a county, I mean, y'all were on the same,
Yeah, I don't know.
just got away from it?
Yeah. And I don't know that really, you know, it's not been an issue, that we're doing things that we had to coordinate with the entire county, but this seems to be, you know, like I said, approved by all 3 entities, so I'd ask the board to approve it.
You got a motion on that?
Yeah.
A motion been made and seconded to approve the school calendar. Any other discussion? Would each member please respond to the motion? Sanchez.
Yes.
Tuttle.
Yes.
Bailey. Yes. Notable.
Yes.
Idle, yes.
Yeah, I have just a couple of informational items. One is on contract negotiations. The board is in current contract negotiations with the Association of Paris Teachers. The members on our board committee are member Bailey and Tuttle. And of course, Mr. Idle, as board president, is also involved in the negotiations. We met today. We plan to meet again tomorrow. We've made headway, we've completed all the language items that we've come to agreement, tentative agreement, I might add, on those language items. We're now getting to salary and benefits, so we will bring that information to the full board. And Mr. I don't know if you want to say anything else, or Beal or Tom?
I think that covers it pretty much.
Yeah, we will bring the whole package and what's been tentatively agreed, and then we'll discuss it with the full board, and then once it's been tentatively agreed to, of course, the ABT takes it back to their association, they have to take a vote, and then we will bring it to the board for a vote. So that just updates you a little bit there. Another thing, Mr. Roberts is planning to have an auction on some items that we've stored for years and years. He has worked out an agreement at with the city to be able to use the vocational building at the old Paris High School. I can tell you that they are charging us, and because Sam and his crew did refinish the gym floor for them, the old gym floor, which was a good trade-off for us, because this way we can use that facility, and he's taking things down from our office, from all the buildings, from storage rooms that we just haven't used in years and years and years, and the proceeds that auction in could go back into the O&M fund. So that should help that bottom line a little bit too. I know the high school did really well on, I think it was like 38,000 they made on their auction when we moved out of the high school building. So we're hoping to get, keep you updated on that as well, but I did wanna let you know if you see them moving in the trucks and they've got things moving around, it's things that have not been used for years
Is
and
this a
years.
standard auction bid where
Yes,
we
yes.
hire auctioneers to come in and
Yes,
do it, or they
he's-
volunteer their time or whatever?
Yes, so I'll bring,
It won't be online.
you know, I don't, it may be online, I'm not
Do
sure.
you know who the auctioneer is?
I think he's I don't want to say the name, because I think it's, but I'm not sure, he did mention something to me, but don't print who it is, because I'm not real sure, you may already know, so, that it was really needed, we were gonna do it in the spring this year, and just didn't get around to it with all just building things going on in summer cleanup. We knew we needed to do this and to clean out different areas, so, for space, so I was really glad that, the high school agreed, or the city agreed to let us use that facility, so we can just move things in and have a nice large area to,
And our net cost is zero.
oh, yeah,
Zero.
no, and that cost is zero, because like I said, they did do, they refinished the floor for the high school, so it's kind of a good trade-off for the city and for the district. That's all of the superintendent's agenda.
All right. Report of committees, public hearings and petitions, unfinished business, matter for follow-up, new business, the right to revert to our prior order of business, executive session. I would entertain a motion for adjournment. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion?
I just sent you a text,
Thank you.
do I need to
Yeah,
go?
really.
No.
Failing, no call.
Yes.
I don't know.